Good evening. We're Rick's Blog Live, giving you some election coverage. We are trying to be on Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook all at the same time. I think we're having a little bit of trouble with Instagram. We'll try to get that up for you as soon as we can. They're working on it now. They're troubleshooting it for us. But you can go to YouTube and Facebook and be able to follow us. The polls have closed. The last time we looked at the numbers, and I've got it in front of us, we have about let me see just a second. Let me call it up real quick. We are at about right at 7 o'clock. We're at 27% turnout, which is about 2% down from where we were before. And 4 years ago when we had the mayor's race, right now we've got 55,440 people who have voted. It is early voting is, just look at the latest numbers. It is 25,000 people voted. 25,554 people voted early voting. We talked to Supervisor of Elections Robert Bender just a little bit earlier today. They came back, he said he felt like they would have about 29,000 votes counted within 15 minutes of the polls closing. That would be the early voting and the vote by mail. So as soon as we get that up, we'll let you know about it. The city voting is a little bit heavier than the county voting. They're not as far off as much. I checked on the numbers at 650, and we don't have the latest numbers because I don't want you to watch me clicking in all the numbers, but we were right at about 1,300 votes less than where we were 4 years ago. And of course, in that election, Mayor Reeves won in a four-person race. Now it's a six-person race. This is a pretty unbelievable amount of money that the mayor has spent on this race. When you look at all the cash reports that are in, the mayor's campaign spent. Let me get the number up here. His actual campaign spent almost $97,000. He has a political PAC, Citizens for Pensacola, that spent another almost $50,000. His campaign is $146,000. All of his opponents together spent $78,615. So it's interesting to see how that all plays out today, because he believes that he's going to hit that 51.2% or 52% margin, so he doesn't have to have another runoff. I'm disappointed we haven't been able to get, and this is kind of what part of trying to use this technology is that we seem to have lost the Instagram component, but we are on YouTube and Facebook, so you can follow us there. And that's part of trying to use this new technology. So hopefully we'll be able to pull it off. It is, we thought we might hit 59,000 people voting. Unfortunately, we're only at about 55,000. So we're down from what we thought it would be and what we hoped it would be. Now it's starting to rain at the end of the day, but we had a lot of votes coming in just since 4 o'clock. I was looking at the numbers at 4 o'clock. We were right at 49,000. So of course we're ending, right now at 55. So we've had a lot of votes in the last, 3 hours. Democrats and Republicans, they're both down from where they were. The big hit has been in vote by mail. It is down 5,200 voters than where we were 4 years ago. Had a huge impact. Early voting was better. I'll enter these numbers real quick just so we can look and see where we're at. We're looking at, I think we're looking at right now, election day voting is down 17%. Early voting, vote by mail was down 26%. Now they're still putting ballots in as they got them in before 7 o'clock. So that number will change slightly as we look at it. It's going to be, so hopefully within the next 15 minutes, we'll get all of the early voting and the vote by mail ballots cast. So we'll get a number what those numbers look like. Usually that holds all the way through. And traditionally, whatever the percentage are when we get those first votes in, that will hold. I keep thinking though that when we're looking at so much, so few or vote by mail, that maybe that number may not hold, that percentage may not hold as much. So we'll have to watch that through. We'll hopefully by about 7:45 we'll have everything here. That's what Supervisor of Election Robert Bender thinks we'll have. We've got a lot of people out that'll be calling in. Hopefully, if it all works, we'll have Jeff DeWeese, Soil and Water Commissioner for Escambia County. He's at the Jimmy Petronas watch party. We'll have him call in. We got State Representative Alex Andrade at Byron Donald's watch party. Commissioner Lumen May is at David Jolly's. We're going to have former Commissioner Jeff Bergosh call in. Walker Wilson, who ran for office 4 years ago or 2 years ago, we'll have him in. We'll also have Ryan Wiggins, who was formerly part of the Lincoln Project. She'll give us a bigger national view of the stories that we're covering. So we'll hopefully keep you entertained through this whole process. I'm still disappointed that we're not quite getting that, but I don't have a way to fix that. So they're going to have to see if they can try to reconnect us in the background. If someone's trying to look at it, maybe I'll put a message that I think I'll go ahead and put a message on Instagram that they can go ahead and look at us on Facebook, and so we can try to get everybody, as many people we can. So Instagram is down. Go to Facebook or go to YouTube. So we got you there on my own YouTube page. So, all right, so we'll get that done. So we'll try to get all that for you. So we'll see how we can make all that work. We got people joining us now, looking at it, which is great. It is, it is. Yeah, it'll be. This is the first time we ever tried this. The interesting thing when we look at this election, I think people are wondering, will the mayor, DC Reeves, win re-election in the primary? He was able to, I think he ended up with, gosh, let me see what the number was. It wasn't by a lot. 168 votes 4 years ago. He avoided a runoff. He had three other opponents, Sherry Myers, Jewel Canada Wynn, both of those are former city council members, Steve Sharp. He edged out by 168 votes to avoid a runoff. This time he's got five opponents. And that is one of the big questions of the election. The other election is what's going to happen in County Commission District 2, which has always been sort of the problem child. It is over the years, the last, 20 years, we've watched incumbents struggle in District 2, no matter what the boundaries were. Gene Valentino in 2006 beat Edwin Roberts by 5 votes to win that seat for the first time. When he ran for re-election in 2010, he had 3 opponents, Karen Sindell, Dave Merzen, George Tuart. He won with 34% of the vote that time to go in to win his second term. The third term didn't go well. When you know that 2/3 of your district didn't want you to get reelected, you're going to have a problem if you try to run again. And he did. Doug Underhill beat him with 62% of the vote. So that roughly those 2/3 that didn't like him 4 years before didn't like him then. Then Underhill had a problem. When he ran for reelection against Alec McMillan, he won a very tight race. Only 6,300 votes were cast. He won it with 212 votes. So this is going to be interesting to watch what happens with Mike Kohler and Lynn Dorsey. Will District 2, will this be an easier fight for an incumbent than it has been in the past? This will be one that I'm really, really watching. Of course, then we have the school board races. We've got Kevin Adams and Paul Fesco, who, they're part of the masterminds behind redoing the referendum on the school board to go back to an elected superintendent. uh, they obviously feel very comfortable because they didn't spend a whole lot of money. It'll be interesting to see what happens in those two races, and then what happens with the superintendent's race. You're right now. You're looking at the city vote is pretty strong. It's not as down as much as it was in in the rest of the county. So will that be enough? Because the city came out very, very strong in 2018 for having an appointed superintendent. So if that changes, if that happens, that will be significant. Maybe the city can sway that vote again. So we'll see how that plays out. It is but we'll, as this comes in within the next 15 minutes or so, let me see if we've got anything up on the city's on the supervisor elections website yet on any of the early results. Here we go. Let's see if we got it up. Yes, we do. All right, let's look at what's happening right now. We'll just go to the local races right now. Kohler is ahead of Dorsey. Kohler has 64% of the vote to Dorsey having 36% of the vote. For that is for County Commission District 2. Let's go down. School Board. Kevin Adams has 59% to Aaron Toller, who has 41%. Fesco has 68% against Gerald Washington with 32%. So it looks like they're in pretty good shape and going back. David Williams is leading Isaac Williams right now, 60% to 40%. In the mayor's race, Mayor D.C. Reeves has 52% of the vote right now. The closest competitor to him is Alicia Trawick with 22% of the vote. Everyone else is in single digits except Ann Hill. She has 12. This is 2 of 20 precincts counted. So this is a number that we're going to definitely be watching and see what it happens. Let's see what's happening on the referendum. Let me work my way down the screen. Right now, it keeps updating on me. Give me just a second. Yes is at 71%, which this is the trick that Fesco and Kevin Adams did is yes doesn't mean keep it the same way it is. Yes means we go back to an elected superintendent. And right now, overwhelmingly, that looks to be going in that direction. That's 9 of 80 precincts counted. This number keeps updating as we talk. You're looking at Kohler his lead is still strong, 64 to 36 against Dorsey. In school board races, Kevin Adams is right at just a little bit below 60%. Fesco's at 68. David Williams is at 60. And this number keeps changing. The mayor's staying at 51 to 52%. So right now, traditionally, what we've seen in these kind of races is that this is what happens, is that the early voting, when it comes in and you start looking at those numbers, they don't change much. With so many more people voting election day, there's a thought that maybe that might change. That history, that standard that we've used for so many years may be different, but it doesn't look like that's happening. We're hoping we're going to have Jeff DeWeese call in a few minutes. We'll be calling him right now to see if we can get a hold of him and see if we can get him on the show. And then we'll follow up with a lot of other guests. So this is something. Hey, Jeff, there you are.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing great, Jeff. So you're at Patronus's party?
Well, I'm tagging along with Lumpy.
Oh, well, who wouldn't? What's the mood in the Patronus?
Well, after that first dump of votes, it's really good. Escambia County first load is 76%, so he's feeling good about the primary.
Yeah, you're looking at we had fewer people vote this time, but it looks like most of the incumbents are going back in right now. They have all pretty healthy margins. The mayor's sitting there. The numbers are coming in. He's right at 51.5% but that's only 2 of 20 precincts. But it's
right.
What did you see on the ground? I know you live on the east side of town. What were you seeing there?
Well, I did see Trawick, a lot of activity on the east side. with the races in Pensacola, it's always about which precincts came in and which ones didn't. And
Yeah,
so, that's interesting. It looks like we're going to be voting on superintendent again.
it does overwhelmingly 70% right now. That's huge. The uh, you know the city voted. I think the county vote was a little bit less, but the city vote is not that far off than where it was 4 years ago. So,
Right.
but I keep thinking, Jeff. You and I have done this for years now. Is that with so many people not voting by mail and waiting to election day, that maybe the percentages would change, but it hasn't happened yet. We see the same thing
Right.
every time. Yeah,
Well, I tell you, the Patronus campaign has access to all of these really cool databases that you and I could never get. And we've been watching Central Florida, and there's a lot of incumbents that are in danger down there. It does look like we could have our first Democratic Socialist in South Florida that's going to win a primary and take an incumbent out. We've got some Republican House members in Central Florida that will not be returning back to D.C. So it shows that sometimes it's about the candidates,
right.
and it's not about the money really, because the incumbents always have the big lead there. But yeah, um, I'm interested. The school board races look pretty close. Um,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
seeing how they come as more precincts come in,
Yeah. We'll
I
see.
wish
Here,
we're
go
gonna have
ahead.
to talk to Bender about giving us when he says there's two precincts reporting, where? Give us a map.
Right. Right. Yeah. We'll do it. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for calling in. Tell Lumpy good luck. We'll catch up with him soon. But where's the Patronus party? Where are y'all at?
We are down in Fort Walton Beach at the Woodfoot Beer
Uh,
Company.
okay, cool. Jeff, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a
All
good
right.
evening.
Take care. Well, Congressman Jimmy Petronas is not worried about his reelection, based on what we're seeing with Jeff. And of course, we're looking at other numbers. The statewide newspapers are calling that both Jolly and Donalds have won, that they'll be facing also in the primary. Hopefully, we'll try to reach out to Alex Andrade and to Commissioner Lumen May and be able to get them to call in soon, so we'll be able to hear from them also. The and be able to get that information. I'm really disappointed that we didn't get the Instagram component to work, but that's just something that there is no solution. Let me see if there is. Let me try just a second. Yeah, it's just part of the technology. Obviously, YouTube works well. We're having a lot of people watch on Facebook, so thank y'all for doing that. I think we're looking at the numbers now. The We're looking at 48,000 votes that have been cast, about a 24% turnout, 5% less than 4 years ago. We had all these races come up. John Fay is winning handily in Escambia County, 79%. Trey McMullins at 21. Kohler is at 62% over Dorsey with 38. This was a race where County Clerk Pam Childers, State Rep Michelle Salzman, Commissioner Ashley Hoffberger all weighed in to try to get Kohler off the council because he dared to challenge him. It doesn't look like it was successful. We had seen that Kohler had a pretty good ground game going on, that he really worked it hard, and I think that's paying off now. Right now, all the school board members look like they're going back. Kevin Adams has 60% of the vote in District 1. Paul Fetzko in District 2 has 67% of the vote. David Williams and Isaac Williams are getting a little bit closer. There are 13 of the 18 precincts counted. David Williams is at 60%. Isaac is at 40. The mayor's race, we're looking at 14 of 20 precincts. The mayor's lead is extending. He's at 53% of the vote right now. He has got 6,608 votes. Oh, we've got Commissioner Jeff Bergosh, former commissioner. Jeff, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, Rick. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. Well, the results are coming in.
They are.
And we're almost got all the precincts in. What are you thinking?
Well, it looks like Mike Kohler was able to win pretty handily. My friend Kevin Adams won. I already congratulated him. It looks, Rick, I hate to say it, it looks pretty much like what I thought it would look like. No real surprises, no real standouts, other than I thought the elected commissioner would win 60-40. Right now it's looking 70-30. So,
yeah,
I'm disappointed about that. I just think a lot of people don't understand the inner workings of that, but I think it's a lot of teachers, a lot of administrators going to be bummed out about that, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we didn't give it much of a chance, but you and I've talked about it on your radio show, WPNN, is that it was sort of a rigged system. The school board members used their weight to word it in a way that worked for them and also put it on a primary so fewer people would vote.
Exactly.
But on the other side of the coin, it looks like all the school board members are going back.
They are. Yeah, with big margins too, which was somewhat surprising because I know that the other opponents had some, pretty formidable campaigns. So, I mean, I think it shows, Rick, that some offices, they really pay attention. Other offices, there's a lot of, apathy, and there's a lot more advantage of incumbency. I'll put it that way. But overall, I mean, are you surprised by anything of what you're seeing, Rick?
I think, District 2 has always been a difficult district. I talked about it a little bit earlier on the show, in that incumbents have traditionally had problems getting reelected. Underhill did, Valentino did. So there's always that concern. And State Rep Michelle Salzman did her best to try to take him out, and obviously it didn't work. I think the other thing is jumping out is the mayor's percentage right now is so strong. He's at a strong 53% right now. Of course, he spent $146,000, so that that probably helped a little bit, But it's I think people were hoping that Alicia Trawick, or not hoping, but thought that she was going to be a major contender this time. But he's doing better now than he did 4 years ago.
Well, I think he's had a lot of positive press, and I mean, you have to hand it to him. I mean, he had the governor of the state in town last week, handing him a $9,000 check. That helps. I mean, there's been a lot of positive news, and he's been strong on a lot of issues. And frankly, I mean, you can't argue with the success that DC Reeves has had. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, downtown is on fire. I mean, we're like top downtown in the country. We're like top beach in the country. I mean, he's had a lot of positive momentum, and it's hard to deny it. So I'm proud of him, and I look forward to another 4 years having him at the helm.
Well, great, Jeff. Thank you so much for calling in. We've got Alex
Absolutely.
Andrade from the Byron Donalds campaign. I'll be on the radio tomorrow with you.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Y'all have a good night.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir.
Esquire, how's the party? Seems to be pretty good attitude there.
It's a great party. Unfortunately, like, the internet connection's been tough. I've been trying to get updates all night, and it's been impossible.
Well, maybe if Donald's got a data center close by, that might have helped, right?
Yeah. Maybe. The social hasn't had their way so far.
Yeah.
All right, so Rick, you tell me what are the results over in Escambia County right now? What's the greatest supervisor of elections in Florida's results so far?
Well,
Robert Bender.
Well, I tell you, the referendum for an elected superintendent, it's 71% yes. DC Reeves is at
Wow.
almost 54% of the vote, doing much better. I mean, people were thinking it might be much closer than this, but it's not. School board members, all of the school board members are 59% or more of the vote. Kohler is handing it to Dorsey. He's got almost 63% of the vote. Not a lot of upsets.
Good.
Locally. Yeah.
No, doesn't sound like it. And for Canby County alone, how are Canby County residents were back in Fishback or Renner or Jay Collins?
Let me see. Fishback. I don't. Let's see. Let me get up there. Fishback was 3,200 votes, so 10%. You know, that's. But you know,
10%.
Collins did almost 24%, and Renner it did ahead of Fishback. So it's, you know, Donalds, Collins, Renner, and then Fishback, which is kind of probably what it looks like around the state. Any talk at the Donalds campaign about Michelle Salzman being his lieutenant governor? That's what she's been telling me. What I've been hearing.
No.
You're hearing it there. She ain't been talking to me, but that's what I keep hearing.
No. Shockingly, I just left, you know.
Oh, we lost him. Oh, bad connection. Let's see if we can get Commissioner Lumen May. We can try to get him on the phone. That's, you know, you run the risk in doing this is where everybody has and with the internet connection. One big upset, Angie Nixon has upset Alex Vindman for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senator. Alex Vindman was the former military officer that took on Trump, part of the impeachment process. Spent a lot of money in the state, not really known that well in the state. And I think this is another case where an actual party member like Angie Nixon really won out and won the support of the party. I'm sure Commissioner Lumen May, hopefully, he'll have good internet connection and we'll be able to get his take on that. He's down at David Jolly's party, so we'll get a feel for that. It's pretty much right now. I think we can declare DC Reeves the winner without a runoff this time. You're looking at 20 of 20 precincts. It's done. So here's how the mayor's race turned out. The only thing I don't like about Jeff's thing is, about Bender's thing is it scrolls. But you're looking at, let me get it back up here. Let's see, just a second. I'm sorry. You're looking at right now, it was Reeves first, followed by Trawick with 21% of the vote. It is Ann Hill with 10, Jermaine Williams with 8. Let's see, Eric Shorter with 3. Let's see where Jasmine Brown got 4% of the vote. So it was hand victory. There you are, buddy.
Hey, Rick, you there?
Welcome back. I guess Michelle Salzman cut you off, so you weren't allowed to speak anymore. Alex, you there? Alex, can you hear me?
Rick, you there?
I'm here. I think your connection's too bad. We're going to have coffee when you come back. But
Hello?
I don't think this part's working, Alex. We'll have to try again. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. All right. It's just when they get bad connections, we'll have to let Alex know. It just isn't going to work. So we're not ready completely for prime time. We'll get there. It's fun to try to play something new and different. We hope to have Commissioner Lumen May give us a call pretty soon to be able to get his take on what's going in the David Jolly party. Of course, he's been declared the winner of the Democratic nomination. He'll be facing Byron Donalds in November. That will be something to watch. I think they've got, the state won't post all the numbers until 7:30. So hopefully we'll get that up pretty soon. See what the official numbers are there. Let me see if maybe I can get it. Let's see. Statewide, Ashley Moody is definitely the big winner. She's got 1.2 million versus all the other candidates, almost 80% of the vote. Angie Nixon ends up with 56% of the vote versus Vindman with 44. Petronas has 72% of the vote against Frankman and Chico. Let's see, what are the other races? Those are the other big races that we're looking at statewide that jumped out. So Petronas is definitely going back. Moody will be the Republican nominee facing Angie Nixon in the general election. Petronas will be against Gay Velmont, and that will be in the general election. So we'll see how that works out. Looking over just at Santa Rosa County, just to pull these numbers up for you, they are still, of course, they've got Peanut doing the numbers for them, so it takes them a little bit longer to get them in the system. You're looking at Fay did very well over there against McMullen, 76% of the vote. So he's pretty certain he's going to be going. He'll be the Republican nominee. Kerry Smith is trailing right now with 21 of 41 precincts. Jeff Adets is with 25% of the vote. Kerry Smith is in third place behind two other candidates. Let's see, the District 4 County Commission Republican is split. It's almost roughly 400 votes separating them, less than 400 votes. Let's see where we got some of the other races. School board, Sanborn looks like she's going back. She's got 57% of the vote versus David Farrow. Carol Boston and Kyle Connolly are very, very close. 640 votes separate them right now with 20 precincts to be counted. Marie Laughlin is ahead of Jill Broxton Teston by about 1,200 votes. 21 of 41 precincts counted. So that's Santa Rosa County, what's happening over here. Pretty much all our races are done. Let's see, I think we've got, okay, I need to send Bender the link to get in. Give me just a second so I can take care of our commissioner. Former commissioner and now our... So I'll send it to him. So I got it to him. All right, let me see. Commissioner Lemon May is still on his phone. We'll see if we can. And he's having trouble getting in. So let's see. Let me send it to him again. So, yeah, I wish we could get him. But that's the issue in trying to pull all this off. It has been, our elections are moving pretty quick. Pretty much all of Escambia County's taking care of the city races. Is decided DC Reeves is going back as mayor. Again, without having to face anyone in the general election. Right now, it is about the same number of people voted this time as last time. A little bit less, 13,848 people. I think a year ago it was 15,000 people. So 13,000, almost 14,000 people got to decide who the mayor is of the city of Pensacola. He won handily with almost 54% of the vote. The biggest challenger was Alicia Trewick, who I think really has a promising political career if she wanted to run for city council or school board or some other race in town. I think she's proven herself as a very capable candidate and won a lot of respect in the community. So I think that we'll like to see what happens there. Elections are the toughest poll ever because there is no wiggle room. You can't, you're not able to, the numbers are the numbers. And that is why I always admire anyone who's willing to put their name out there and try to and run for office. It's a grueling process. It takes money. It takes a lot of time. It takes humbling yourself to be able to ask somebody for a vote. All those things go into place. And there's definitely an advantage to incumbents just because they have a little bit more name recognition than you've got. It's easier for incumbents to raise money, as we see with DC Reeves, $146,000, as opposed to all of his opponents only coming up with spending about $78,000. Oh, hey, we've got supervisor elections, Robert Bender. Congratulations, Robert. Is that champagne in the background?
No, our work's just beginning. Our work's just beginning. I'm gonna let me forward this to one of your colleagues real quick. Hold on, let me see what we have here. All right, perfect. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Well, it pretty smooth job. You got most all the precincts in now?
We do have a couple that are having trouble doing it. Again, about 5 precincts that have not yet reported, and so we're going to have to we call that sneaker net them in. I guess it's more like a good year them in, but yeah, it looks all 20 of the 20 precincts in the city have reported, and so and then a number of the other ones have all of us there. So just those 5, which is almost typical for us.
Yeah, it's amazing. You and I had text, gosh, what, a little bit before 5, and you said, all right, we're going to have about 30,000 votes ready right after 7 o'clock. And you were right, you did. The percentage was down though. The vote by mail is still lagging behind.
Well,
We're
so
not
I'll
getting
say
it.
this. So actually, yesterday I predicted my over under of 25,000, which was a split between 2022 and 2024 election day turnout. So 2022 we had 30,000 election day. 2024 we had 20 election day. So we split that. We had record numbers of early vote for a primary election. But then yes, then we were about 5,000 off on our vote by mail. So we do have a little bit more vote by mail. I think we probably have a couple hundred that we got in late this afternoon that we're waiting for this rush of 7 p.m. We really want to focus on being prepared for 7 p.m. A little bit later than I wanted to in getting that link up on the website, but as soon as we got the link up, we had the results there minutes later. So and it's going smoothly now.
Any issues come up in the polling places today? You seem to have more provisional votes this year than 4 years ago.
We have some, but again, provisionals are a little bit of everything. Maybe somebody didn't have an ID. Someone called me and said, hey, my son has a student ID that doesn't have a signature on it, and he lost his wallet, and he doesn't have anything else to show. I said, all right, do the provisional. And so we had already had, I can't remember how many provisionals we had going into today, but nothing like the 500 that we had in November of 24.
Right.
And
true.
so,
That's true.
and again, really most of our provisionals, I don't say most, but a number of provisionals from the primary election are because people believe they were in one party and they're not. Whether it be that they changed it at some point or never changed it to what they wanted to be. So that is the cause of a lot of the provisionals in a primary.
Well, it looked like the early voting worked well. I mean, as far as the turnouts were huge, very few problems there. Maybe a little sign problem at Bellevue Library, maybe that I heard about, but then everywhere else was interesting. So if people want to register to vote, they can now, starting tomorrow, register to vote in the general, right?
They can. So we didn't stop registering. We didn't stop taking applications. We just stopped processing them. Mm-hmm. And so we wait to get through this. Really, it's going to be a little bit longer. There's Ryan Wiggins, who had a first-time voter today.
Yeah, I had a pretty good day
today. And so, but yeah, overall, I think it was good. Again, normal things that we're going to see with some boot failures and walking the precincts through that. Really, the biggest thing was Bayview. We could not get their tabulator to tabulate, to come on. So we did have to use the emergency bin there until I was able to get there, replace it. And then I stood there with 3 election workers as we scanned the 65 ballots that had been put in that emergency bin. So again, that's the design of the emergency bin, that the voters can securely return their ballot and not have to sit there and hold it until we get that problem fixed. And so it worked as intended.
Well, great. Robert,
Robert,
thank
I
you
want
so.
to personally
All
thank
right,
you too. Sorry, Rick. My
go
baby
ahead.
was a first time voter today, and it was so easy for him. And I'm just so grateful for that. And all of your election workers were so sweet and cheered for him and everything. It was the sweetest thing. It did this mama's heart so good. So thank you, Robert. It was
You're
awesome.
welcome. I appreciate. And again, listen, we had about probably 10% drop in the last few weeks, or last week and a half or so. But Escambia couldn't do this. Florida couldn't do this without all the hard work of our election workers. These are long hours for them. This is a 14-hour day for a lot of people. And so and then they are the ones that give Ryan and her son that experience, that give all these people the experience that they had to come out and vote today. So really, I couldn't do it without them, and so thank you. Appreciate it.
There we go. Applause.
All right, so now you can get into what's happened with Ryan. I know she has a lot to weigh in on, but no, I'm glad today was a great day for us for running elections. We did better than we did 2 years ago. Still have a lot of work, but hopefully this just means we'll have a great turnout in November, and we'll keep the momentum going. So thanks, Rick, for all the support and getting the word out.
Always, Robert. Take care. We'll catch up.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ryan. All right, there's so much to talk about. I first want to talk about, you had told me last spring that Alex Vindman was sort of a fake candidate, that he wasn't going to spend the time in the trenches. He was going to try to win it all with social media and with out-of-state consultants. And he got his hat, and a lot of things handed to him today, didn't he, by Angie Nixon?
He did. I was actually really kind of surprised by it, to be honest. I mean, he is a decorated military vet. He did lose his career standing up to Donald Trump. I was really, 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 really kind of surprised that he had a huge war chest. He had like $19.3 million or something to play with. Angie Nixon didn't even raise $1 million and just absolutely smoked him throughout the state, which is, I mean, like I said, that out of all of the returns tonight, that's the one that really kind of dropped my jaw. I was surprised. But Angie was a good candidate. And I mean, she was out there and meeting with the people. And that is what you really have to do right now is campaign the state. She was doing that. Vindman did have consultants that were not from Florida. They were DC consultants, and it showed. So, I mean, here we go. We're into the midterms now, Rick. No,
right.
Primary's over. The table is set.
Right. Jolly and Donalds. It is. What's the path for David Jolly? I mean, you've got all the money with Donalds. You've got a presidential endorsement. You've got a state that's heavy Republican registered voters. What's the path for David Jolly?
I am so glad you asked me this question because I get asked this question all the time. National media and everyone is discounting this race because it's Florida and Florida's red and Republicans have more than 1 million registered voters on the Democrats. And all of that is true. Byron Donalds has a huge war chest. I think he's sitting on something like $67 million. That's all true too. The problem that Byron is going to have is that Byron has spent $20 million and has not moved his favorabilities with independents by 1 point. Not one. And the key to this race isn't the Republican vote, and it's not the Democrat vote. It's the independent vote. And there was a poll that came out just about 3 weeks ago from the James Madison Institute. And you will never hear me say nice things about the James Madison Institute. They are the Heritage Foundation of Florida. However, their poll, very skewed for Republicans, did say that Jolly is leading 17 points on independents. And if that holds, Rick, that's the ball game. If he can have the Democrats and he can have independents, he wins. So there's that. We saw with Angie Nixon tonight, a war chest doesn't matter. Getting out in front of the voters and saying the things they want to hear. It is rubbing palms. It's kissing babies. It's burning shoe leather. And that is what Jolly has been doing since last summer. I mean, way before Byron was even in the race. So, I mean, I'm feeling very good about what we're seeing. And listen, I'm not going to spend this cycle trying to convince the Republicans to switch from being a Republican to a Democrat. I am going to spend this election cycle telling the Republicans they don't have to vote for a subpar candidate who has given his soul to big tech and to the energy companies. I mean, FP&L is a huge backer of his. I don't know that FP&L is anyone around here's friend.
So that goes that advertising.
Sorry, Rick.
Like I'm ever going to get it. I've already burned that bridge. You're looking at, the thing that I know you look statewide, nationally, but we look locally. Incumbents won everything handily. Nobody, we keep hearing about, pushback against incumbents, and it didn't happen in the polls.
Well, I will say this about local politics. DC, I did not vote for DC the first go round. I didn't. I was really concerned that he was going to be a stooge for Quint Studer, and I don't think any one person should own my city. So I had a real issue with that, and I definitely did not vote the first time for him. He has done nothing but impress me since he's been in office. Yes, he may be a little sharp-tongued, and you and I have talked about that and him talking on social media and that sort of thing. But what DC has done is bring money into Pensacola, and he does it over and over and over again. He's bringing opportunity. He's bringing the things that I want to see in my city. And yeah, I understand the feeling about, the developers, but is someone going to knock on anyone else's door and say, hey, I'd like to come develop your city? Like, if you want progress, you have to be working with the people who are going to create it. And I think that, like I said, didn't vote for him the last go round, was really proud that he got all 3 of my family votes this go round. He's earned them.
Well, your husband, we keep wanting to get off the couch, but he won't.
He wouldn't run against DC. He thought he was doing a good job.
All right, before you go, talk about your son's voting experience today, because that's special. Hey, Walker, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to finish up with Ryan just a second, and you can get back to all your cousins.
Yes, all of them.
All of them.
So today, Elliot voted. My oldest child turned 18 on Saturday, and today voted. And it was pretty amazing, because the day when he was born via C-section. And like 4 days later, we showed up and voted, and I had him in a baby carrier. I could barely walk, and I had him in a baby carrier. He was going to be, and he has gone to every single time I have gone to the polls in his entire life. He has gone with me, because I believe it's such an important thing to teach your kids. So today he's now in school at UWF. He's a freshman, and he's living in the dorms, and he came home this morning to go vote with his mama for the first time. And it did my heart so good. We went and we voted, and he was so serious about it. And the poll workers could not have been sweeter. And they applauded him and let him get a picture outside of the poll room. It was so great. And then he wore his little sticker all over campus today to show everyone that he voted. I was so proud. So proud. And I get to vote with him in the general. I'm going to probably be down in St. Pete that night, but we're going to early vote out at UWF. So I'm really excited about being able to do that with him for the general. So it was great.
All right. Beer soon, Ryan. We'll catch up.
Yes. All right.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Walker. Well, the results are in. You're surprised?
They're in. Not really. I don't think. I think there was some thoughts about what could maybe be the case, looking at some of the numbers that were coming in the city for early voting and vote by mail. Looking at today's election day numbers, I think it looked pretty evident that DC was going to run away with it, with who was voting and where they were voting. It was just, from that initial drop, I was a little uncertain if he was going to be at 50% or not. And because you had a lot more percentage Democrats voting and non-party affiliates than typically do or did 4 years ago. But then when you looked at election day voting, Republicans and your folks that have voted 3 or 4 out of the last 3 or 4 primaries that were Republicans made up 75% of the electorate that had not voted as of this morning. I think that, leaned in the way for DC to kind of run away with it today. And we saw that tonight with the initial drop. And you've always said this, Rick, and I thought maybe this tonight would be different, but
Right.
here I am, a fresh 37 as of today, that, it didn't really change. So what we saw at the beginning is what stuck through the rest of the night, and that we might get a couple more votes in, but I think everything's going to pretty much stay the same.
I keep thinking that's going to change with more and more people voting the day of the election, but the percentages, the only thing I could think of, if there was something really catastrophic that happened in a campaign, like maybe a candidate died,
Yeah.
or something, but
Yeah.
but it seems to always hold that way. It is fascinating to see. Well, I know it has to be a little bit, bittersweet for you to see. You worked so hard for the appointed superintendent, and to see, because of the way this was rigged this time, doing it in a primary, wording the question in a way that tricked people. It's got to be disappointing to see this go back to elected superintendent.
It is. And I work alongside Mayor Reeves doing this as well with the help of Quint Suter and PYP, 8 years ago now. I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I kind of had a feeling it would be somewhere in the 70-30 or 60-40 range if it was going to go back to elected. What I liked about this being asked now is that no matter how it's going to be chosen, either elected or appointed moving forward, I think the same person is still going to be in that job. So
Right.
to me, it's still, how are we choosing that person, right? And if it's elected, which we've had for a majority, way more than a majority of the time that we've had a superintendent of schools for Escambia County, that it's elected, and here we are, we're going back to it. So it is disappointing that it was in the primary. You let a few people vote on it today and not push it to the general in November. But either way, we move forward and we're doing good.
I'm doing
So,
good. How are you
guys
doing?
are doing well. Than they ever have.
Doing good.
Walker, Lumentel Walker, happy birthday.
Walker, happy birthday, man. It's great to be here in Miami, here at the Jolly campaign. Rick, thank you for having us on. What an exciting day for the state of Florida. As you can see in the back, David Jolly has just accepted the nomination, and so we're pretty excited, Rick.
What an upset on Angie Nixon.
Yeah, well, Angie is a great candidate. She worked very hard.
For our viewers, that's Lumen. It's kind of hard to figure out that's him there, but it is Commissioner May. There you are. Perfect.
I'm pulling out. I've walked out the room, and Angie did a great job. I mean, she ran a grassroots campaign, and congratulations to Angie. Mr. Vindman was a great candidate as well. Really, it's a good day for Democrats across the state of Florida, Rick. And so I'm excited to be here in Miami with the Jolly campaign, celebrating this victory and congratulating my dear friend Antoinette Tedito and Angie Nixon and a lot of my friends who are across the state. We've had 30 years of only Republican control, and I think that here's an opportunity, as David talked about. This is not about Democrats, independents, or Republicans. It's simply a race about Floridians. And so I'm excited to be a part of the race for Floridians.
Well, it is. It's not many surprises locally. All the school board incumbents went back. David Williams won. I know there was a feeling that maybe Isaac Williams might upset him, but that didn't happen. Must have been that ad in N Weekly.
If you advertise in the independent news, you usually win. I've won all my elections, and I advertise in the independent news, so we win. And so congratulations to David Williams. Congratulations to our mayor. Congratulations to David Jolly, Angie Nixon. Congratulations to all our candidates, not only to those who won this race, Rick, but congratulations to all the candidates that put their name out there.
Right.
It's tough to put your name and your family out there. And so, I wish I was there. Congratulations to Commissioner Kohler. Typically, I'd be doing analysis with my dear friend Walker Wilson and you. And Robert Hill, but we're in Miami down here with the Jolly campaign. So it's great. I know you hear a lot of noise in the background. So there's a lot of excitement down here in Miami.
Oh, great. Well, Lumen, thank you for
That's
calling in.
right.
We appreciate it. Walker, happy birthday. We'll all
Right.
catch up soon,
Thanks.
but thank y'all for coming
That's
on.
right.
Hey, Rick, thank you for always
Thanks.
covering Northwest Florida. I mean, Northwest Florida is covering South Florida and Miami. I mean, because we're all one Florida. So thank you, Rick. Thank you, Walker. I'm excited to be back in Pensacola on Thursday to get ready for the general election.
All right. Take care, my friend. All right.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks, guys. See you, Rick.
All right. Take care. For somebody who spends as much time as the phone, you'd think you could use the camera better. But I think we've covered just about everything we wanted to cover today. Let's go through what the state is saying in the races. Ashley Moody handily wins the Republican nomination. She's the incumbent for U.S. Senator with almost 80% of the vote. Angie Nixon will face her in the general election. She beat Alex Vindman with 56% of the vote. Petronas, 71% of the vote. Strong candidate. He'll be facing Gay Valmont in the general election. It is locally, you're looking at just about every incumbent won. Of course, Byron Donalds won the Republican nomination. David Jolly won the Democratic nomination for governor. Blaise Ngoleo had 56% of the vote for well, that's just locally. We'll cover that later. You're looking at Mike Kohler is going back, won re-election handily, 62% of the vote. Pretty strong statement on his part. 4,800 votes cast, 3,000 went to Mike Kohler. You're looking at all three school board members are going back. Kevin Adams with 61% of the vote, Paul Fesco with 66, David Williams with 59% of the vote. DC Reeves is not going to have to face a general election. He won't have to go back to all of his contributors that helped him raise that $146 million. He was able to win it handily with almost 54% of the vote, 53.45% of the vote. You look at the other candidates in that race, because this was one that had a lot of people involved. Let me get down here to it again before we go. I got to talk to Bender about this. This thing keeps rolling out of it. But you're looking at it, that in this race, it was highly, a lot of hard work went into it. Alicia Trawick came in second in this race with 21% of the vote. Ann Hill with 10% of the vote, followed by Jermaine Williams with 8%, Jasmine Brown 4%, Eric Shorter with 3% of the vote. The referendum, we're going back to an elected superintendent. 71% of the vote voted yes to go back to elected superintendent. Let's just go real quick over to Santa Rosa County just so I can give you those numbers, what's happening over there. Let me update it real quick. Pretty much done. Let me see. Let me work through real quick. It looks John Fay is definitely going to be the Republican representative or nominee for District 2. He won both Santa Rosa and Escambia counties. You're looking at Jeff 80s, the fourth, ended up winning with 26% of the vote for the District 2 County Commission. The incumbent, Kerry Smith, came in fifth place with 15% of the vote. It is, you're looking at County Commission District 4. Dean Light beat Ray Eddington. So you got two incumbents going off of the Escambia County, Santa Rosa County Commission. Let's see real quick. School board, Linda Sanborn is with 57% of the vote. You've got Carol Boston with 51. There's only less than 300 votes separating these two. This is a pretty close race. It's a less than 1% difference. There's still 3 precincts out. Right now in District 5, it looks like Marie Lachlan is going to beat Jill Broxton Teston. It is, and that's 38 or 41% of the votes. So we'll get all the final numbers tomorrow. This will all be settled overnight. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for giving this experiment. The Instagram part didn't work. We'll figure that out. But I think as a whole, this was a great experiment. So thank you for watching. We'll be back. I'll do Rick's Blog Live on Blab this week. I'll be on Jeff Bergosh's show in the morning. Of course, the blog is always out there. Thank you for watching.